I want to start with something you said to me a while back that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. You said ABM has a branding problem?
Yeah. The name makes it sound like a marketing tactic.
Right. And I think that framing is causing a lot of damage to agencies trying to run it.
A lot. Because if you think it's a marketing tactic, you run like a marketing tactic. You build a list, deploy resources, send some emails, maybe run some ads, some logos. And then 6 months later, you have a spreadsheet full of accounts nobody touches and a pipeline that looks exactly the same as we started.
Which is not really an ABM. That's just a list with good intentions, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's mostly agencies' ABM program. Yeah.
All right. So we need to talk about what that actually is. And we need to talk about something that we've been building because these two are connected. Walk me through where the advice breaks down because I think founders are reading the right thing and there's no shortage of content about ABM, but something just isn't translating.
Well, the advice isn't wrong. It's just written for the wrong company. The textbook version says pick 200 targets, accounts, point your whole go to market machine at them. Sales, marketing, content, ads, events, wrap it in coordinated motion, and wait for the flywheel to go.
That sounds great on paper, right?
That sounds great. If you have an SDR team, a marketing ops person, a content engine, a real budget, the advice assumes that constraint is coordination. Get every pointing in the same direction and these just show up. But for a founder-led agency at 1 to 5 million, that's not a constraint at all.
You are the STR team.
Yeah, you are. You're also the marketing ops person, the content engine, the budget approver. The constraint isn't coordination. It's you. Your time, your attention, your brain at 5 a.m. before the kids are up.
Oh, I feel attacked here.
So do I. Of course I do. Because everybody's 5. So when someone hands you a 200 account that says deploy full GTM resources, I feel like that's a big like screaming thing, like a submarine.
Right.
Uh,
Deploy full
Deploy.
GTM resources.
I mean, the honest translation is do the work of 10-person revenue team by yourself on top of running your agency. No wonder it dies. It was never built for your shape.
All right. So most agencies are just running someone else's playbook in a situation it was never really designed for, right?
Exactly. And here's what I want founders to understand, because this is the thing that actually changes everything. The constraint isn't a weakness; it's a whole strategy.
Say more about that.
When you only have time to seriously pursue 20 accounts instead of 200, you're forced to do something most enterprise ABM teams never bother with. You have to actually know who you're going after deeply. Not they're in fintech and they're raised a Series B and they have color blue and prefer orange. That's not really research. That's just LinkedIn filter.
Yeah, that's a whole vibe.
Yeah, it's all the vibes. And 10-person team can afford to spray 200 accounts with mediocre personalization because somewhere will bite. You can't. Every account you pursue costs you real time you just don't have. So the bar for is this worth my morning has to be really high. And the only way to clear that bar is intelligence that actually tells you something.
And that's where it falls apart for most founders, right?
Every time. They know they should research. They just don't have the system for it. So your research means 20 browser tabs, a half-read 10K, a scroll to someone's LinkedIn, and a vague feeling that this account seems like a fit. Then they write an email that says, I notice you're growing fast. Hit send, and wonder why nobody replies.
Well, 20 accounts done that way are no better than 200.
That number isn't the strategy. The depth is.
All right. So we've been thinking about this problem for a long time, and we've been building something. This is the first time we're publicly talking about it. Bart, why don't you tell us what it is?
So it's called RedString. And the short way to describe it, it's the revenue intelligence layer for your revenue department.
Why don't you tell us where the name came from?
You know those detective words? The red string, everything connecting everything, making sense of all the pieces and feel disconnected. That's the idea. Your accounts, your contacts, your history, your signals, RedString connects them all. and then insert Charlie Day.
You Charlie Day meme from Always Sunny. I love that.
Always Sunny.
I love that. I call it a crazy board. So tell me what it actually is mechanically.
So we run ABM as intelligence operation, not volume operation. And I think we've talked about ABM up top. It's business development strategy in reality. That's the whole belief system underneath it. A founder who deeply understands 20 accounts will outclose the team spraying 200 every single time. And they keep them for a lot longer.
Right.
The founder just needs a system that handles the understanding at machine speed. So the human can spend their sacred hours on judgment, relationship, not on tab management.
Not on tab management. That's going to hit for a lot of people listening to this, I think.
That's the whole job description for most agency founders right now. Tab management.
And RedString is the thing that gets rid of it?
RedString handles the intelligence. Your data stays in your tools, you're connected once, and it runs.
All right, so let's walk through what it actually does. Walk me through the machinery of it.
All right. So it technically starts with defining your ICP, your ideal client profile, which is the most important thing. Figure out what the hell do you do out here. And then we do research. Before any account goes into a cadence, it gets scouted. Drop a company name, URL, LinkedIn page, and then RedString uses our sort of playbooks and things we kind of done over the years and pulls a real profile. Not a data dump, a scored, structured read on whatever this account fits your ICP and why. What signals suggest that they have a problem you solve and where the actual entry point is.
So instead of saying they're in fintech and they seem like a fit, you're getting a real answer to whether this account clears your bar.
Correct. And when you're building a target list from scratch, it's course prospect in parallel. 20 companies enriched and rated against your ideal customer profile at the same time. So you're not making those calls on a gut feel. The system surfaced the ones that clear the bar and explains the reasoning. You make the call, the machine did the grunt work, and you use it to eat a whole afternoon per account, if not more.
Wow. That framing matters to me. You make the call, the system does the grunt work.
That's intentional. The reason isn't that checkbox you do before the real work. The research is the work. Get it right, and the outreach writes itself. The get it wrong, and no amount of clever subject line saves you.
All right, so you got the right accounts. Let's move on to the next part. What happens next?
It runs the cadence because the target list is worthless if the touches fall through the cracks. And they always do when a person is tracking everything in their head. RedString runs the cadence pipeline. Every account has a next touch bound to the right sender, drafted in the sender's voice, with timing tracked, so nothing goes overdue without something knowing.
I think this is the place where a lot of agencies are quietly bleeding revenue and they don't even realize it. The follow-up that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, the warm relationships that went cold because life got busy. The follow-up that was supposed to go out on Thursday and it's now 3 weeks later. Every founder has a dozen of these right now.
Okay, so you got RedString. What does a Monday morning look like with RedString running?
All right. So we send you a daily brief, tells you exactly what needs to happen today, who's due for follow-up, what's overdue, which conversations are warm, need human reply right now. It's pipeline review across every active cadence done before the coffee finished. Coffee didn't finish. I still have coffee.
Yeah.
Instead of a guilty scroll through CRM that makes you feel behind.
A guilty scroll. I get it.
So the founder isn't managing the system. The system is managing the founder's attention, pointing it at the handful of things that actually move the pipeline that day.
I like that. I want to repeat that. The founder isn't managing the system. The system is managing the founder's attention, pointing it at the handful of things that move the pipeline that day. I want to talk about the lapse radar because I think this is the one thing that's going to stop people in their tracks.
So the lapse radar is that thing most agencies are completely ignoring. People you've worked with, talked to, almost closed, and then lost to the noise for running a business, right? Former clients who trust you, prospect who were closed, but the timing wasn't right, relationship that went cold, not because anything went wrong, but because everybody got busy.
Yeah, nobody's going back for them systematically.
Almost never. It happens by accident. You see someone's post on LinkedIn, you think, oh, I should reach out, and then just don't do anything about it.
Maybe it didn't
RedString
need it.
has lapse radar running underneath everything. It scans your history, surfaces the ones worth retouch based on timing signals, what's changed in their business, and how long it's been. And then it drafts reactivation in your voice.
So your warmest pipeline, which is sitting dead in your own history, gets resurrected on a schedule instead of, by accident or by,
The grace of
yeah,
something.
right. A good scroll.
Squirrel.
Good scroll, good scroll session.
It's- yeah, that's exactly it. Where agencies' warmest pipeline is in their own history. We dig it back up on a schedule.
And before any meeting, before any send, RedString pulls the contact intel, right? The actual human context of it.
Yeah, ABM lives and dies on relationships, and relationships live in the details. The thing somebody mentioned about their kid, the conference they were speaking at, pain they vetted about all a call 8 months ago. Enterprise teams lose this constantly because the rep who knew left, or it just never made it into the CRM before any meeting, any send. RedString pulls what you know about that person, what's changed, where the relationship stands. So you walk in someone who's been paying attention because you have a system doing it for you.
I like that. I want to make the case directly. Why does this model beat the enterprise version? Because on paper, a 10-person team with budget and tools and SDRs technically should win.
The enterprise plays volume because it can afford the waste. We played deep because we can't. The enterprise needs coordination across a team. We need leverage for one operator. Here's the math. Depth times consistently beats volume times waste when the volume isn't yours to spend.
All right, so that's not a tooling claim. That's a math claim.
It's a math claim. One founder who genuinely understands 20 accounts, never drops a touch, walks into every conversation prepped, and resurrects dead pipeline on a schedule. That founder will be bloated team going wide and shallow, not sometimes, structurally.
Yeah, so the constraint flips it into an advantage.
At the moment you give that one person the right intelligence layer, yeah, absolutely. The supposed disadvantage, that it's one person instead of department, that's actually the thing, because the one person, when it could write, is not slowed down by coordination and politics and handoffs. They just move.
And bureaucracy, et cetera, et cetera. All right, before you wrap, I want you to say the one thing you said at the end of the article you wrote about this, which we'll include in the show notes, because I think it's the most important thing you've said in a long time.
Most founders are going to listen to this, nod, change nothing. They'll keep running ABM and their stuff the way they always run it. A list, they're vaguely working. Research that really just a vibe. Follows they mean to send. Slow glide lead of warm relationships they forget to maintain.
Why is that?
Because the system isn't that hard part. The hard part is admitting that founder as only closer model has ceiling and that more hustle won't break through. You don't need to work hard at 5 a.m. You need to the thing you're doing at 5 a.m. to be the right thing. And you need system pointing you at it.
Yeah, I'm all about systems. Work smarter, not harder, as they say. All right, if someone's listening to this and they recognize themselves in that, what do they do?
So here's what I can do. Drop us an email. I mean, you can go to redstring app.xyz. Drop us an email. Happy to do a demo with you. We don't have demo on the site because this is very structured to use your AI system that kind of combines it all. And then we go from there. We basically try to consult on, is your ICB correct? Are you doing the right things? Are you reaching out? And then build a whole machine with our tools for you.
All right, that's great. Again, the best place to stay close to everything we're doing. RedString, the Revenue Department Framework, all of it is the Playbook. That's our weekly newsletter. Subscribe at playbook.agencyfocus.xyz and you'll get everything as it rolls out. That's where early access information will live, and that's where the updates will drop first. We will include all of the links in the show notes. And again, as Bart said, if you would like a demo of RedString, drop him an email or drop me an email. We'll figure it out and we'll give you a demo. Bart, it's been a long time coming.
It has.
All right. We will talk soon. Playbook Podcast. Playbook Podcast is brought to you by Agency Focus. New episodes drop each week. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and we will see you next week.
See you.
See you.
What do you do now,